Kenya has a young population. That is according to 2019 population and census report, which indicates that 75% of the population are under the age of 35 years. Could the engagement of youth in agriculture be the much-needed solution to food insecurity as well as an override on the demand for white-collar jobs among the Kenyan youths?
In 2016, when I left my job, I wondered, what else can I do? Because I was tired of the corporate rat race.
Went to campus, studied economics, and land being a factor of production is the most available resource that I had.
On today's episode of Youth in Agriculture, we feature two vibrant young farmers who have successfully balanced their careers and their passion in farming. My name is Susan Mwangi.
I was born and raised in Nairobi, lived in Nairobi all my life. And when I came to Mwea, saw what they are doing, the opportunities to create employment, the opportunities to earn, I thought farming is a place I can do well in. I met my co-founder, Wawira Njue, in a reality show that was on KTN called Miss President. And when we met, we bonded. And after the show, we thought, we shouldn't waste this relationship. What can we do? From my past experience of growing cash crops like French beans, tomatoes, we thought, let's look for something that will work a bit better, something that we don't rely on fresh market. What can we do? After consulting other farmers, looking at other people, what will we do? We decided, let's settle to the sweet potato, because sweet potato, it gives us several income streams. There's the possibility of the tuber. You can eat the tuber as it is, you boil it and eat the tuber. There's the possibility of selling the vines as fodder to dairy farmers. There's the possibility of drying the vine and selling the powder also as additives to the fodder. So sweet potato for us that's the way we are going to go.
The place you are in is called Kibichoi, Githunguri constituency or district, Kiambu County. I studied economics actually. Currently I work in a bank. It came to a point where I needed to complement my income. That is way back in 2011. And thus I decided I have to come back to the farm because one readily available resource was land. I had the support of my parents. They gave me some space. This is a greenhouse, doing capsicum, sweet pepper that is, red yellow. I've been doing this for the last 9 years.
From me, several things to consider on how much you need. Where are you getting the land from? Are you buying it? Are you leasing it? If it's bought, of course it will be more expensive. So you have to do the math. For a year, let's say it's about 120K to lease an acre of land. What about the machinery that I need? You need machinery, like right here we have diesel pumps. You need to buy the diesel pump, you need to buy the piping. The initial cost of production is very high. You need about 60K to maintain an acre to production after the initial capital. And that's where the pressure is at, the initial capital.
The first greenhouse that I ever built was my help loan. I used to get 13,500 per semester. The initial cost of production in this case spent about 200K to build this structure. And the seedlings, about 40,000. Let me give it the labor, the management, and up until the first time I start harvesting, I have to spend another about 60,000. So with an investment of about 350,000 for 1,800 plants, I expect that at the end of harvesting my crop, after the maybe 6 to 8 months or maybe 1 year, depending on the nature of your structure, the initial investment, I expect you should be able to recoup your initial investment from that crop.
When it comes to capsicum planting, you first of all prepare your field. That is by doing the beds, doing the drips, and the spacing as well. The spacing is normally between rows is 45 meters. Between plants could be 30 to 40 centimeters. But I would advise, as a starter, use 40 centimeter so that, because you really don't have the experience to handle that. But if you have the experience, do 30 centimeters to maximize on crop production or to maximize on numbers. Mix manure very well with the soil and also the fertilizer. Avoid fertilizers that are high in ammonia because ammonia is acidic, and acidity in the soil, it hinders nutrients intake. That's what something we call nutrients lockup. The nutrients are available in the soil, but the ability of the plant to take the nutrients is hindered by the acidity in the soil.
In this farm, we have partitioned the land into 2 acres. This is our first block, this is block A. After this block, we will go to the next block that we have. We are experimenting with intercropping maize and sweet potatoes so that we see whether the production will be affected or not. But as a farmer, advice to you is make sure you have continuous production. Whether there is market or not, everyone knows that if they need this particular kind of crop, they come to you. Create a name for yourself, create reliability, and things will improve that way.
Harvesting is normally done after 90 days or so when the ripening has started. That carries on for almost 6 months up until the crop is exhausted. And we normally do it on weekly basis. 4 of these fruits would make a kg under proper crop management. And feeding is very important here because feeding this plant means now you're feeding the fruit. So you can imagine how many are there in one crop. So that means in the long run, you could be making 4 kgs in a plant. You can do that, you can do your math as per your plant population. Like here we have planted 18. We are estimating that in the long run, you'll be making 4 kgs per plant. Now you can multiply 1800 by 4 kgs and you do your math of the number of kgs you're going to be making at the end of the entire project.
At the moment, our main target is somebody who will give us a contract for large produce. So we don't want to do like the 10 kilos, the 5 kilos. We can do that for you if we can send it via matatu to Nairobi. But we are looking for somebody who will come and pick like the whole production. From this block, we're expecting at least a minimum of 20 tons.
I'm supplying a company that do supply to supermarkets, and I understand they also export. Because I did touch one thing about consistency. Many of these supermarkets, they do demand that the consistency bit of supply. So maybe I'm on and off. So of course I'll be like a frustration to the business, that is the supermarket. So for now I opt to supply to such a company up to such a point where I'll be able to have maybe another few greenhouses like this, such that from Jan to December I can be able to consistently supply. If it's about 500 kgs on a weekly basis, I can be able to promise you I can supply this and I deliver.
So thank you so much for staying with us. We will now be taking a short break, but when you come back,
everyone is being told, oh, go and do agriculture, but you need money. Where are they going to start, get the capital to start? When you go to the banks to get a loan, which I have tried, they'll tell you, we need security. If I'm 18 years old, 19 years old, where will I get security to get a loan?
Pests and diseases are naturally there. So we won't be able to eliminate the use of all these pesticides and insecticides to produce. We also need fertilizer because of the degradation of our soils, because you have to complement fertilizer and manure. One thing that is very much vital is for the farmer to follow the instructions as per the producer's manual, or the producer of the certain chemical. They usually give instruction. So the PHI before I harvest, how many days do I have to take before I do harvest my crop.
We are used to spraying at intervals, like maybe we know I have to spray in 2 weeks, so in 2 weeks, without even coming to check the plant health, we just spray. That's another mistake that we farmers make, and it is essential to cut costs, to to make sure we don't eat a lot of pesticides, first scout, see what am I fighting for, what am I spraying against. We want to avoid pesticides as much as possible because our product, we want it to be healthy and we want it to truly be beneficial to our consumers.
I think my best advice would be for you to also know your soil health status. Please get your soil sample tested for you to know the deficiency that are there or the constraints that are there for you to get actual or appropriate fertilizer recommendation. The limiting factor on classifying soils based on types is just basically one, the variation that of course occurs between and within farms. Soils may look loamy, sandy or clayish, but there is a difference between within the chemical nutrients that are there. And the challenge is you need to know what is limiting and what is available at any instance. And they may not be the same, despite having the same characteristics or being in the same cluster or group. So the key thing is going forward, we need to know the limiting nutrients. And that will also help fertilizer companies refine their fertilizers and make them sort of site-specific as time goes by. And this is the adoption that we've seen across Africa. We've seen Ethiopia doing the same, Tanzania doing the same, Ghana, Nigeria developing the same. So all these countries have all worked towards developing their own soil information systems that are more based on soil functional properties.
It's difficult for the youth to venture into agriculture even if they want to because of the initial capital that is needed. It's very expensive. Like one of the diesel machines at the river, they cost 120,000. One pipe 6 meters long cost about 1,500. You see, I didn't come straight from school to farming. I had like 8 years of work. So I was able to save a little bit of money that helped. And also, I don't regret coming to farming because I've been at the job market, I've been employed, so I don't feel like I'm being shortchanged because I've been there, I've done it, and I think that's not for me. Everyone is being told, oh, go and do agriculture, but you need money. Where are they going to start, get the capital to start? When you go to the banks to get a loan, which I have tried, they'll tell you, we need security. If I'm 18 years old, 19 years old, where will I get security to get a loan? So it's not cheap to start, but it's easy to continue after you start. It's easy to maintain the farm after starting, but the cost of starting is very high, even for a normal person, let alone a youth.
I think any other business has a risk. I don't think there's a already set perfect trajectory that if you do this, the outcome is this. I think come to farming, for us, our biggest risk was an emotional one, expectations. So the expectations were, if you do this crop, this number of plants, to produce this number of kgs, so we were counting the chicks even before they hatched. Okay, the production was good, but the frustration did come in at the market level. So we had not really well been able to interact with the market. So the many people that we did sell to are brokers.
For anybody who's looking for a job or who has lost a job, I would tell them that you have to look for something that you truly love to do. Because nothing is simple. Even the farming has its own challenges, and the only thing that will make you wake up tomorrow and try again is if you truly love what you're doing. And also look for something outside finances also. Because when I first looked for my job, all I wanted to do was get paid. Before you chase the money, chase what you love first, and then the money follows. Even where I am right now, I still don't have the amount of money I want, but I know my opportunities are limitless. It's not like my job, I had a ceiling. I wouldn't pass that specific ceiling of the salary unless I don't know what happened, a miracle. But in farming, opportunity is limitless, even in terms of the money you earn is limitless. Farming is not like magic, that you just start farming and then you make the money that I see printed on newspapers. And other people saying, oh, you can earn $1 million from an acre. I haven't had that yet. Maybe it's out there, but I still haven't had that yet. If I can sell one sweet potato at 1 shilling, why not produce 1 million of them? Why not produce 2 million of them? But it requires strategy, it requires purpose, and it has to be deliberate effort.
Maybe you don't have the resources to put up such structures. You don't have to wait until you get all the money. I think farming is all about, first of all, you learn the process. You start from there so that even if you get the 100K, the 200K, 300K, you know where to rightfully put that money.
So it's been almost 4 years, and there's some other gratitude that I get other than the financial benefit, which is employment. I'm in a position where I'm able to give employment to other people. I'm in a position where I'm able to be helped by other people also who don't have to help me. And that kind of human interaction that farming brings is very important to me. And then here at the farm, I have a minimum of 4 people that come in every day. And that's just when it's normal work. When it comes to like planting, we need at least 8 people per acre. And when it comes to harvesting, we need even more people. And you sleep easy at night when you know, because of some effort that I put, other people are able to benefit from it. And that's not the end of it.
So to my young fellow people, I think we did one mistake, of which we need to have a switch from that. We left farming to our parents, the older generation. And I think it's one thing with us. We're innovative, we have the energy. So we can take it to another level, come to even just doing farming as a business, as opposed to, for them, they were just doing it. They need something to engage them. For us, the challenge of unemployment is solely based on us. So it's up to us now to start thinking of how we can empower ourselves. So out of the many benefits, maybe I would quote, back in campus, I was still doing farming. So I could be able to relieve my parents out of the fees they used to pay me from whatever I got from farming. I can quote an example of the house you can see in the background. It's all out of farming. With time, of course, from this crop, I look forward to doing the finishes, furniture, and everything. I want to throw the challenge out there, get into the farms, work hard, and go through the many frustrations. You are hard to be strong emotionally, and the money will come. I do this as generally a side hustle, but with a lot of passion. I have plans to expand this into the future. At one time, I'll age, of course. I would wish to have a point where I can exit from whatever I do professionally and give another young person that opportunity.
We want to finally also be able to contract other farmers to farm the sweet potatoes for our company, which will also increase employment. It will be a ripple effect from us to the other contracted farmers, to the people who will be working for those contracted farmers, to the people who will supply the finished products, the drivers, the chefs, the people packing. So at the end of the day, we want to create employment also for the youth, for ourselves, and improve the economy of Embu County.
So that brings us to the end of our episode today. Thank you again for staying with us. If you are a young farmer with an inspiring story that you would like shared with the rest of us, talk to us through the social media handles on your screen. My name is Susan Mwangi. Until next time, it's bye-bye from us.